I feel very out of sorts.
So we'll begin. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. And so we've got our community online and we've got our previous community in the house as well. So I thought maybe today what we look at is equinox. What does it mean? And how does it fit in with what is going on right now with the world and what we can do about it? Because as we are being bombarded in many ways with so many different um, ways of restricting life. And that could be through medical tyranny, that could be through traveling, that could be through using public transport, that could just in every single way that digital, you begin to notice that there are so many different methods that are being suddenly being employed or deployed in order to what is the end goal. The end goal may be disguised as climate this or saving the world, but the end goal is control. That's all it is. And who does it control? It controls you and me. Controls us in what we do, how we feed, how much money we spend, who we spend it to, who gives whom what. And the whole thing then can be mapped into some kind of a neural network, and you can maintain some level of order. And you don't need many people to keep order once you got the whole thing digitized. That's really where we're at. And the impact of this on human beings is significant because at the moment we are just well, I wouldn't say we are just starting. The last 2 or 3 years have brought us to a place now where we are recognizing signs and symptoms and which are being employed in the same way to encourage and facilitate an action. And the action is to take an event which is irreversible. Irreversible. And the data now is, you can't refute it. The data now is clear that those medical interventions that were put together in the last few years are having and have had and are having significant impact on everyday health, whether that's with young people, sudden deaths, whether it's with cancers, whether it's with blood clots, whether it's with retina. There are a whole range of issues that are starting to demonstrate. And again, we've got to recognize that if you do not recognize for yourself the model that's being used in order to coerce a particular behavior, then you will continuously be part of that. And this whole thing works on hope, because with fear comes hope, right? And as long as you live in the hope, you will not live in the now. So you live in a dream, in a fantasy, in the possibility of something happening. And it's as absurd as a lizard that hangs upside down on a ceiling and it thinks to itself that if I was ever to come down, the ceiling will fall. That we place so much emphasis on the fact of hope, and hope is encouraged through fear. So the moment you create a fear, hey, you might get ill, and this illness may do this, that, and the other, then the hope is that I will dodge this by taking an action. The issue is that this is an irreversible action. Once you've taken it, that's it. The game begins for you in a different way. So if we do not recognize that as human beings, as people who are now being subjected to this at all sorts of levels, then really the impact and the damage will only be to you as your life, quality of life, and I would even go as far as to say the length of your life is severely curtailed simply because of these unthought, untested, and in some ways unreliable in many ways interventions. Now, we also need to recognize where do these interventions come from. So there is more awareness of cancer today, yet there is more cancer. There is more awareness. The medical system has absolutely exploded the biomedical system in terms of interventions, in terms of diagnostics, in terms of drugs, in terms of use of AI. The whole thing has just exploded. Yet, we've never had as many illnesses as we have now. There are more cancers, there are more dementia. Think about it 20, 30, 50 years ago. How common was dementia? How common was dementia in the culture that I come from? How common was Alzheimer's in Punjab, in Africa? Why is COVID not impacting people in Africa as they are impacting here? Because the science itself is centralized, it's controlled. Just the narrative is controlled, just like all the newspapers and all the propaganda stuff channels just the same information. The same is true for science. And there's a whole range of science that exists beyond that centralized space. And once we begin to recognize that, we begin to recognize there are different ways to look at ourselves. There's different ways to be, and therefore different ways to heal, enable body to come to an optimum space. And part of that may be not using chemicals to change the body systems, but perhaps using other methods to change the body system. And meditation is one of those systems. Because with meditation, we begin to learn to step out of that dream world of hope and fear, stress, whatever you want to call it, that level of internal anxiety, mental anguish. We begin to learn to step out of it. The moment we step out of it, we come to a neutral space. In that neutral space, the body begins to reorganize itself, our systems within ourselves become more coherent, and as a result of it, our mental health improves, our emotional health improves, and our physical health improves. So meditation is now becoming the go-to in order to deal with the commitment. Once we begin to wake up, to truly wake up, the impact of blue light, the impact of electromagnetic radiation on us as human beings, once we truly wake up to that, we will begin to recognize that there has to be a different way of past 1980, before 1980. And you will see that there is enough research out there to demonstrate that radio waves, electromagnetic waves, blue light has an impact on your whole body system, and this impact is negative dopamine levels and increases the ability to be an addict. Yeah, so gets you addicted to the technology, which is why some of the founders of technology didn't allow their children to use that technology, because knowing that this is the way the system works. So as we begin to wake up to this new paradigm, new emerging paradigm, we begin to realize that there is a different way to look at reality and ourselves within that reality. And what is facilitating this? What is facilitating this is you and me. It is simply the way the cosmic space is unfolding. It's to do with the light from the sun. It is to do with the radiation that's being bombarded, which obviously is being, hampered with through the chemtrails and various other mechanisms. But the energy is now penetrating human beings, where we are having our aha moment of saying, maybe I need to recognize things are not the way they used to be. And we need to recognize what is actually going on. So, in spite of these phenomenal changes that are undergoing at this moment, there is this new emerging paradigm that is going to become more and more evident as we begin to cross the threshold from today into the next few days, as the equinox change is then engaged with our own awakening and our own transformation. So, despite the challenges and the turbulence that one may go through, it is incredibly important, one, to preserve your life force, two, not get engaged in the drama around you. And you will see there is constantly news items which will create a debate constantly. And the reason that debate needs to be there is because if you're engaged in the nonsense, if you're engaged in the nonsense, defending nonsense, then you are not living, you're not present to the moment, you are living in a dream world, and you are being harvested for whatever reason those that need to harvest you for. So I've tried to pack in a few things today, but what I want to leave you with is this: that despite all of this going on, the time now is to move within yourself. Use this energy of the equinox to align yourself to yourself. That's all you need to do. No need to do anything else. Step in, and to step in means simply to go through a process of stepping out of the little mental fog that we've all been subjected to. Okay, so we'll do our meditation now, if that's all right. So, as usual, we always begin with changing our posture, closing our eyes, and ideally closing our mouth. And if you just push your shoulders back a little bit, pull your chin slightly, and ensure that your body feels softened, relaxed. Yeah, we don't need any rigidity. Your back is straight and upright. And as you draw breath in, you're going to become aware of yourself as best as you can. And you're going to begin to recognize see if there's any dominant sensation in your body that draws your attention. And this normally tends to be a pain, it could be an itch, tightness, an ache. Locate it. On your next breath in, you're going to imagine a hula hoop above your head. As this hoop begins to come down, scans your body once again, just a little bit deeper, for sensations. Things that are dominant: pain, ache, itch, tightness. Next breath in, bringing your focus to the seat you're on. Notice the sensations where the body makes contact with the seat. From those sensations, as you breathe in, move your focus upwards, becoming aware of your hips. As you breathe out, you bring your focus down your thighs towards your knees. From your knees, you move down towards your ankles. And then bringing your focus to your feet. Notice the soles of your feet. And then gently bringing your focus back to the seat you're on. And now, just to make our present here and now. Notice that the ground that supports you is the only ground that can support. The earth holds you. And this earth that holds you is held in the whole solar system. And right this moment, everything exists at the same time you do. Every bird, every butterfly, every fish, every drop of rain, every ocean, every planet, every star. All of that exists just as you do, right moment. Simply becoming aware. Notice that the breath you draw in now can only be drawn from the air in front of you. On your next breath in, bringing your focus back to the chair. And then as you breathe in, allowing this awareness to move up your back, from your lower back to your middle back. Again, all you're doing is just scanning the body. You have a body, but you're not the body. And then from our middle back, we move up towards our shoulder blades. And then notice the shoulders. And then as you breathe out, you allow this awareness to move down from your shoulders to your elbows, from your elbows down to your wrists, moving to the palms of your hands. Fingers on your hands. Gently bringing this awareness towards your eyes. Notice the darkness. The awareness that never changes. Aware of the back of your eyelids. Aware of my voice. As you breathe out, allowing your eyes to soften. Next breath in, bringing your focus towards your mouth. Begin with our lips, scanning the top lip as best as you can. Scanning the lower lip, and then gently moving your focus within your mouth. Sensing the sensations within the mouth, the roof of your mouth, or the inside cheeks. Notice your tongue. Allow it to soften. Allow your jaw to soften. And then as you breathe out, you allow your face to soften. Next breath in, bringing your focus to your whole body as best as you can. On your next breath in, you're going to bring your focus to your inner climate, your inner space. What your thoughts are, where your mind is, and your emotional space. Let's begin with the mind. Do you feel drowsy? Do you feel alert? Are you focused or are you distracted? And if there's a story, something within your mind, what is it? What dominates your mental space? And then gently moving your focus to your chest and hold it there as best as you can. Noticing the movement of your chest in relation with your breath. Notice the subtle sensations around your ribs. Sensations on the back. Now moving your focus a bit deeper into yourself, in your very heart center. Holding your focus there as best as you can. How do you feel? Do you feel settled or do you feel unsettled? Right this moment. Is this moment peaceful or do you feel agitated? On your next breath out, opening your awareness to all the sounds around you. allowing any sound, noise to simply come to you. Sounds which are close to you, sounds which are further away from you. Everything has a start, middle, end. When you're ready, bring your focus just beneath your nose, anchoring your awareness to your breath, watching the in-breath moving in, watching the out-breath moving out. Stay with your breath. Allowing the breath to breathe by itself. Notice the start, end of your in, start, end of your out. Start, end of your in breath, start, end of your out. Stay with your breath. Begin to follow your out breath all the way till the end. Allow it to finish naturally. Notice when your breath finishes, when your out breath completely ceases. See if you can notice that. Notice how the breath feels now. Does it feel light or does it feel heavy? Then bringing your focus to the sound of your breath as best as you can. Listening to the in breath, listening to the out breath as best as you can. On your next breath out, once again you open your awareness to all the sounds around you, including the sound of your breath. Not looking for sounds, not working them out, just listening. Gently bring your focus just beneath your nose, sitting with your breath in silence. Taking a moment to notice your experience as best as you can. Notice the absence of time, the absence of fear, the presence of peace. On your next breath out, expanding your awareness to include your whole body again. You're still on the same chair you began. The ground still holds you. Sensations where your body makes contact with your seat. And then allow this awareness to move up towards your hips, down your thighs towards your knees, moving down towards your ankles. Notice your feet, and then notice the soles of your feet as best as you can. Notice your back is still straight and upright. Shoulders, arms, hands comfortable. Eyes are still closed, mouth is still closed, and your face is relaxed. Coming back to your breath. As you breathe in, you sense your body. As you breathe out, you sense your body. Breathing in, you sense your body. Breathing out, you sense your body. Breathing in, you feel at peace. Breathing out, you feel at peace. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw some slow, long, deep breaths in, and then in your own good time, gently opening your eyes. Taking your time.